Hello and welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda and it's Free Pattern Friday! Yay! Free Pattern Friday! I love Free Pattern Fridays. We had such a blast we've been having such a blast with this Free Pattern Friday for so long. I don't want to quit, so I don't think we will be quitting, so I can pull out my fun little drawings that I've got. Today we're going to introduce you to the house star. Now, this was inspired by a block I got in the Orphan Block Challenge, but the block was pieced wonky, and by the time I trimmed it up to a size and sewed it, like even coping strips, it was, yeah, I had to cut off a lot of points and everything else. So I was kind of like, okay, well, we can fix that. But before we go off and fix that and explain what the house star is about, I want to talk to you about the Quilted Forest. Shelley and Dan at the Quilted Forest are doing a lot of fun things. It's a quilt shop, so they are showing fabric. They're also showing little patterns and everything else, and it's a fun channel to follow. So if you get the chance, go check them out, because their YouTube link is going to be in the show notes below, and tell her that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. Now, this house star, people have asked for points that are floating, so they don't have to match up points when they're putting the quilt top together. And what I've done on this is I put the outside points floating. So you'll find two PDFs in the show notes below. That's your pattern for your foundation paper piecing. Now, with these floating points, you don't have bulk right at the corner. It's offset, because the point now, like where you sew your seam, is offset from that corner. So you get a nice things that lay flat. So if you were to do an entire quilt of this, everything would lay flat and you wouldn't have extraordinary bulk in the intersections where you're putting the blocks together. So come on in, let's get to the sewing. Okay, so here we are. I've got all my pieces cut. Now, I've got all four of these cut. I'm not going to sew all four of them on camera, but you get an idea of how they go together. Now, the other thing I didn't mention was the Facebook group, but that's okay. So I've labeled all of these. Oops. I've labeled all of these dark, medium, like whatever color, like, and the number in which they go. So you put the first one down, second, third, fourth, fifth, right? And then medium and low volume, which is like, for me, this is, in this block, is going to be this print, because I like coffee fabric. So 1, 2, 3. They're going to be very quick little blocks. The color, the medium color goes here. This goldy darker thing, and then a little brown posy. So then your dark is like 2 and 3, and then 4 and 5 are your low volumes. So now I have already gone through with my tracing wheel, and I've put in the markings. I've traced with a ruler the markings of the outside edge of the block, not the seam allowance, but the outside edge. And, so I've got that all ready to go. Now that also helps you turn the work. Like when you have to start, folding it over and doing all this stuff, right? It makes it a little quicker, right? So, and like I say, you could pick whatever colors you wanted in here. You could do the whole block scrappy. But when I saw this block, I was like, oh my Lord, I gotta do this one. I've got to reinvent it, I guess, is the way I should have put it. But so I'm going to start with the middle. So in the middle, I've got a large medium square. So I'm just going to take this, and I got to get a square that's about yay big. So I don't have any. I have the world's smallest scissors here. I should have been pulling for my scraps, right? No, I'll just get it started. Right there. Just like that. And that's probably all I'll need for the entire block, or for the entire quilt block. So anyway, so now I just need a square. And yes, I'm ripping, because ripping is very freeing. Okay, there we go for now. I know people, oh, you're ripping your fabric. Yes, I am. Okay, so now we're going to lay this like so. I'm going to put this down like so. And then we're going to push this back, just like so, and trim off a nice neat 1/4 inch. There we go, and get rid of all that little fluffy stuff. And I'm going to put a pin in it because I'm not ready to put the dark on yet. Okay, so the dark is this piece. And I just thought, this is what a cute little posy. Oh my goodness, somebody had donated this to me and I was like, oh, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. So I want to take a piece that's that wide, about, no, I want to take a piece that's this wide, about this wide. There we go. This is freeing too when you don't have to worry about your ends, you know. So now I'm just going to go like this. I need 4 of them, right, for this centerpiece. So there's 2, because I'm just going to cut up the middle. And there's another one. There, go. There. Oops. Now, I'm going to have to get somebody to pick that up because I just blew away one of the side pieces. Okay. There. We won't do any more. I'll put this under here so I don't blow any more stuff away. Okay, so now we're here. We're going to put the dark down like so. And we're going to start lining it up. Just nice. Make sure you've got lots hanging over on either side. And I've got the wrong foot. You guys constantly watch me put the right foot on. Again with the wrong foot. That's okay. It doesn't take long to change this up. But yeah, I'm anxious to do the psychedelic snowflake quilt. That's the quilt that's behind me at the intro of this video. I'm all woohoo, that's going to be so much fun. Let's make sure I've got a good 1/4 inch. Yes, I do. Well, it's a little wonky. There we go. Make sure it's good. Now, I've put my stitches up to almost 30 stitches an inch, because I can do that on this machine. You have to check with your manuals how to make closer stitches together than what you're used to, right? Okay, now the next one, I'm going to start with a medium, and I need a big piece of medium, which this should work just lovely. Yes, it does. And I'm just going to clip it like so. There we go. And straighten it out just like that. Yeah, this is the best part about doing these sometimes, is that it is a very freeing process. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that's down further. And we're going to start on this side, putting down the dark. Because there's just a little sliver of dark that goes down. Now I would save these for, I like doing the Bonnie Hunter Crazy Pineapple, so I save that kind of thing. I could throw it into my crumb bin, that works too. So now I'm going to put this back, and I'm going to lay out this way. And I want to make sure I've got good coverage. There we go, and we'll put that one under next. Actually, what is it? This part of the block, that making the house, and is probably the hardest. Now, you don't want to sew all the way across, right? So now I'm going to take my medium again, and I'm going to cut this much. There. I do a lot of ripping some days. I know you're not supposed to, but I just find some days it's easier to do just quickly, it gives you your straight edge, right? So you know where you need your straight edges to be. So now I'm going to put it like this. There. And then fold that too. Yes, I've got good coverage. And that I'm going to save as well. I'm just going to put a quick little pin in here. Now, the reason I sew without pins is it curves the work, right? It creates a small curve, even though, you know, it is now reasonably flat. I mean, it does curve the work. So if you're doing a lot of intense piecing, doing that is better. Okay, now that's not gonna work. That will work. Okay. Nope, neither one of those will work. Okay, let's get this. Just get it done. Okay, now, if I sewed it on like this, I would have coverage. Would I? Would I? Maybe not. Yes, I do. I do. So I'm just going to sew it on like this. Okay. So, I'm only going to go a quarter inch past the line and then gently pull the work out. There. Okay, now I'll go back to the center and get the other side sewn on. We've done these before, where we've done these square and squares, and you get a really lovely crisp product when you paper piece them. I know, and you don't have to be like really fussy about, you know, what the seams all look like, you know, or the back of the quilt. But you do end up with a perfect front, right? The front is just gorgeous. Okay, let's get another dark bit there. And I think I just need a wee tiny sliver of stuff, do I not? Yes, I do. Okay, let's get that sliver of stuff. Okay. There we go. And rip some more. I've probably got enough of the black. Now I'm good. Or the black, brown. The brown. See, and you just push that up out of the way. Okay, now we get to the other side. There we go. Now, if you would have went right off the edge, which you could, I mean, theoretically you can do. It's your sewing room, you can do whatever you want. But if you go right to the edge, this corner is harder to pull straight, right? Like it's hard to maneuver this lovely little edge. Okay, so now I want, how big do I want it? Okay, here we go. There, let me get that over there. Okay. And, okay. I should show you, there's a way to do it in paper piecing with freezer paper. And that is not my favorite method of doing foundation paper piecing, but some people, they try it and they fall in love with it. That is their go-to, must-have, must-do. And I'm so. Now as you're coming up to this, stop only about a quarter inch after. Like, and stop. Like the point, that point, like you're stopping about a quarter inch away from the tip. Right? Because that way you get a nice precise little tip. Okay. And the hard block is just about done. That's the hard block. The rest of the blocks aren't hard. Right? So, and now you pull this back. Oops. There we go. And there. And we get another one on. Actually, this one has the most pieces on. Well, it's one of the ones with the most pieces on. Okay. Oh, all right. Now make sure stuff doesn't shuffle. So. Yeah, everything lines up good. Okay, now the hardest part of this block is done, right? It's to get that peak. Okay, so let's get the last. Oh, we got one more neutral to go on. Yeah, hang on. There we go. Now we put 3, and now this is the corner of the block. You'll see this block when it's all done. There. There we go. And I'm just going to sew this on. I can cut it off later. Okay. Oops. I should sew it like this. Hang on. Yeah. Yeah, so the Facebook group is just having a blast with those fabric swaps. It's unreal how many people have participated in those fabric swaps. So now you start right at the top. This gives you your floating point in the corner. There we go. You see how that's coming together? That looks great. Okay, let's start with 4. There we go. And we're going to put a low volume in. Will this fit? Just. Oh, yes. Yes, it fits. Yay! There we go. Now you just want to get past that 1/4 of an inch, right? That's all you need. There's a little bit of coverage on the edge. Okay. And we're only going to go 1/4 past. This block is done. This one is done. I'm going to just quickly trim this one down while I'm thinking of it. And I'll just quickly give it a quick trim. There we go. Now I have not taken off any of the biased edge, right, or the edging, so everything. And I'm not going to do that until it's all together on the in the block, right? Like I'm not going to, and I'll do a seam allowance around the outside edge of the block instead of each little subunit, right? That makes it a little easier to work with. Okay, so that's one block done, or one. You have to make 4 of these, and now you see this floating point, and that floating point is away from that edge, so none of the bulk is there. Not a lot of bulk is going to be there. So let's get the last piece on here, and okay. Yeah, I love foundation paper piecing. I just find it very restful, very relaxing. And I know people don't like it. It's just like, oh yuck, I hate it. I don't like this at all. And it's because they don't ever give it a chance long enough to get good at it. So, you know, it creates a bit of a problem when you're you know, it's like anything. You gotta practice, right? You gotta practice and get good at stuff before it comes easy, right? Okay. There we go. So, and some people too, they just want to do one at a time. They're very happy in that mode. And if that's what makes sense to your brain to do it that way, go for it. Don't let anybody tell you that's wrong. Okay, well, let's go all the way up. Here, this is the one that floats as well. Oops. Oh no. Now, this is going to go all the way like that. I'll get that out of here because obviously that doesn't want to stay there. Okay. There we go. That can stay, that's garbage. And now I put on the other piece. Okay. Wow, is this ever thready? Okay, so now, there we go. If I make a mistake, I'll show you how to fix it. Okay. Oh, let's see. So now we've got all 3 parts done. And I'll go finish the rest of the parts, the other 3 corner pieces and the other 3 side pieces. But this gives you an idea what this block's going to look like with that little, just that little touch there of extra color. And it's going to be very fun, little touch. So just let me square this up. There we go. There, nice. And they always look so great when they're done, when they're squared up. They always look good. Okay, here we go. Whew. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still doing free speaking engagements. We've had some lovely, I've met some lovely quilters, just amazing talents, and the gills are kind enough to let me stay for the show and tell, which, I mean, is always lovely to see what other quilters are inspired at. So there's our block all trimmed, and now we'll quickly get the rest of them sewn up, and then we'll come back. Okay, so they're all done. They're all trimmed and cut and everything now, nice and neat. So what we're going to do, the houses are on the side, and the points go in like that. Now, when I was drawing this, I thought, what a lovely little star this would make. Now, I don't know how to make that repeating star thing, you know, where you repeat blocks over a period of... Now, when I drew this, I decided, okay, I didn't like the look of something that was big and thick here, but I did like a little skinny roof. Now, if you wanted to redraw the roof, the house part of this block, then you can, and you can make yours thicker. But the thing that I'm going to try and get everybody to remember is we're floating our points here, so they're more than 1/4 of an inch away from that seam line, right? So when you sew these together, you don't need sashing now, right? So anyways, let's get these webbed together because they're going to go fast and furious together. And I've got the right 1/4 inch foot on, and we're just going to roll through just like this. Now, if you wanted to make sure this line here meets the top of this line here, you could pin it in place. But when I'm looking at it from the side view here, it looks good. So I'm just going to sew. I'm not gonna get too crazy over stuff. Now I'm sewing with this up so I can make sure I make my little point right here. And I want to make sure my intersection hits perfectly. Yes, it does. And again, there we go. So start it, check. Start it with, and just check with the needle down where that line is going to be. It looks good. There. And I lost my little crumb that I'm running over. Okay, now, okay, let me just get this off. All right. So now, this is where we're at. Now, I'm going to go out with this and in with these. So there's our next row. So our next row is going to go like this. Now, if I want to be able to see this point, am I concerned about missing the point? No, that's a good healthy 1/4 inch, so I shouldn't be too worried. But if I was worried, I would flip it over and start with this. I would start this way, right? And then I would have my, then I would be able to see that middle point. And I think, yeah, we're here. We might as well do it that way. Okay. So we're starting from the bottom. And we're working our way to the top. Yes, a good match. There we go. Now, you're sliding this under, just like this. And of course, I was hoping to make a mistake as I was piecing the rest of these blocks, and I didn't. The timing you need to make the mistake, to be able to, you know, to do a teaching moment, because I don't sew perfectly. Now, I'll let you guys know that right off the hop. Okay, it made my point beautiful. There we go. And oops. Nope, something's wrong there. Okay. Something's wrong, because that piece is much bigger. Why is it that much bigger? It shouldn't be that much bigger. Have I not got this lined up right? Nope, maybe not. Now, it's a good thing the bigger piece is on the bottom, because now, yes, I got it matching up. Fairly good. There we go. Now all the blocks are webbed together. There. So all the blocks are webbed together. Now we're just going to do the same press. Okay, press out. There we go. And we did miss. We missed it a little, but that's okay. It's okay. Everything else looks good. Okay, so let's keep going. Now I wouldn't be able to see this. There we go. So let's line this all up. Get rid of this because it's now in the way. I just flipped my cutting mat over in case you're wondering. Now I want to nest that seam. Am I got it good? Yes, I do. Okay, and it gives that nice little lovely point. There we go. What I'm doing is I'm maneuvering this so that I have a good nest. Now you see I went in a little bit there, but that's okay. It's not at the critical junction so much. And it hasn't pushed everything out of whack. So now I'm just going to push it that way. And I want to see my center point because I think it's going to be lovely if it's perfect. Yes, they match, and that's good. And get a nice point. Yes, I do. Okay. I'm on a roll here today. Okay, get that out of the way. My one block must be just a hair bigger than the rest. Okay. Now, okay, so it's all webbed together. And before I pull papers off, just because I'm that kind of a person, right? Before I pull papers off when we get to the ta-da moment, I'm going to make sure I just go within the seam allowance. And it's like 1/8. Basically, I'm putting in stay stitching. Yes, it makes that outer edge just a little bit tougher to peel, but it prevents all your, if the edges of bias, it prevents the stretching, right? And sometimes you have to get in there a little bit and pull to get these papers out, but I'm already at like 25 to 30 stitches an inch, so, I mean, that's pretty tight. And it doesn't take long just to run around the edge. There we go. There we go, there. Last side. Okay, and now I'll meet you back for the ta-da moment. Okay, so here's our big ta-da moment. This is our house star. And you can see the little outline of dark along the outside edges of our house block, the house block. And I just thought this was such a cute thing. Now I put all the stay stitching around so all the papers are still on, and I will peel it later and it comes off quickly. Now another thing I would suggest that you guys invest in, if you're going to do a lot of foundation paper piecing, if you're going to do this quilt, tweezers. Tweezers work really great to pick paper out of really awkward little places. And you just yank on it, and the tweezers are, you know, you can use like eyebrow tweezers or whatever, but you're going to need some tweezers for this project. But I mean, just to help you peel the paper, right? So this comes together very quickly. This did not take long at all. And I think this would look great scrappy. You know how you see those scrappy house quilts with all the houses all different colors? I think that would look really cool on this. And then just have your outside points for the same color just to provide unity to the block. I think that would look a lot of fun too. Anyways, I hope you have an amazing week ahead. And you stay well and everything goes your way until we meet again. Okay, you take care. All right, bye. My husband and I would love to thank you for all of the amazing people that we have met along this crazy YouTube adventure that we've been having. We do free speaking engagements too, so if you're part of a guild and they're looking for, you know, people to talk and, you know, and chat with, you know, in their monthly meetings, tell them that I'm doing free ones just to help the guilds out, because it's been a tough time for the guilds as well. You know, share, like, and subscribe with your friends. You know, make sure that they're, you know, they get the word out on us. That's the best way you can do to help us out. So until we meet again, I want to thank you. Okay, goodbye.